To sum up Illinois, what an amazing atmosphere we went into, celebrating the '89 Final Four team of Bardo and Nick Anderson and Kendall Gill and all those guys. It was pretty amazing. As a matter of fact, after the game, I went out and shook everyone's hand just to because I was a fan. I was a fan. Back then I was only a senior in high school, so I enjoyed watching those guys play, and it was a thrill to meet everybody. And that's how much more impressed I was with my team and how they approached it and their mindset. We definitely were bending a little bit during that game, but we never broke, especially in the second half there to start the second half. That first 10 minutes, I thought we started turning the ball over a little bit. But, man, did we come out and really compete and play hard and make really good decisions and really took them out of what they wanted to do. Anytime when they go zone, I know we're doing some good things. So it was great to see a total team effort. The positive for me was that we finally had Lamar, Mike, and Josh all play well together. I thought that was huge. We haven't had that. If you go back and look at all the box scores, we haven't had that all season. And so it was really nice to have all three on the same page and really lead us to victory where the freshmen didn't have to do as much. Although I thought Rozier was great. Miles didn't shoot well, but he hits a huge three while they were making a run in that left corner there. And I thought MJ gave us productive minutes in his 11 to 12 minutes, and Trent gave us some good minutes. So, again, it was a well-balanced effort by our guys. And the great thing for me is that as I watch tape is there's so much, we can get so much better. I feel like we're just scratching the surface if we can get everybody to stay on the same page and keep competing at this high level. Because the one thing that jumped out at me was our speed. Because I think Illinois is one of the fastest teams in the league, if not the country. And I felt like, you know what, we were right there, if not a little faster. So a lot of excitement. I look forward to getting to practice today to continue the process of getting better.
Are you playing your best basketball of the year right now?
I think we are, but I think there's still room for growth. That's why I'm fired up to get to work today. I think there's still room for us to improve. And I'm talking about little things. 17 turnovers, that's too many, right? Some timely offensive rebounds from them. We can clean those things up. I thought our spacing for the most part was pretty good. I thought our execution was, for the most part, was really good. We just played off of concepts. We only ran 3 plays the entire game. So there's little things that we can improve on. And there's some identity things we can improve on. I thought we missed a dive here, a charge there. So if we can work on those few things, I think we're going to present a difficult challenge to Maryland.
So you're in an interesting dynamic right now. You're playing really well, but it looks like it's going to be very difficult to get to the postseason. So what are your goals as you move forward here for the team?
Yeah, I think the goal's got to be get out of the bottom 4. We're only 2 games back. Get out of the bottom 4 and see what happens. You never know. If you win all 4 and you win 2 games in the Big Ten tournament, we're having a different conversation. So I think there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's totally not shut yet. And even if you go, 3-1 or 2-2 and still win a couple games, who knows? You never know if the NIT is going to let you in because you have a number 2 strength of schedule and across the board, or at least top 5 across the board, and because the NCAA runs it now, and there's no written law that you can't get in with a under 500 record. So I'm still optimistic because we're playing some good basketball.
Seems like Jamari has turned a corner a little bit offensively. At least the past 2 games, he seems to play pretty confident. What have you seen out of him recently that's gotten him to this point, especially because he's already been a pretty well-rounded player on the defense?
I agree with you, Ben. I think it started with his leadership, and I think it started in practice. He really just said, this is who I am. I'm comfortable with that now. It's not always about making shots. It's not always about the offensive end. And what he started to focus on was leading, being just terrific and tough and loud and just nasty in practice, rebounding the ball in practice because he does a great job of that on both ends of the floor for us. And I think that's led to some easy opportunities offensively for him. So as long as he keeps that mindset, I'm going to lead, I'm going to be the toughest player on the floor, I'm going to be an extension of the coach, I'm going to do exactly what he needs me to do or what this team needs me to do. As long as he has that mentality, it's hard to take him off the floor. And that game set up well for him. They kind of space you out, they pressured the ball, and he can get by people and go make plays. And every time he jump stopped, he made a good play. And I thought he played Trent very well. I thought he did a really nice job on him when he was matched up with him. And he's done a really good job on some of the best or leading scorers in our league. So I look forward to seeing what he can do against Cowan tomorrow night.
Do you have have a different approach to, he's sort of the third generation of smaller, really fast guys that you've had if you go back to Tim, and then Josh isn't small, but he's still
Yeah.
similarities there. Do you approach that position, I think, when a guy plays it that way differently as you go along, as you've worked with some of these guys that are maybe fit that kind of mold?
Yeah, because you go back to Tony. Tony was different, right? 6'5", great point guard. Really does a great job reading ball screens. Excellent rebounder. But I don't know if he had the speed. Obviously, he didn't have the speed of Jamari. I think Tony was tough, but Jamari's really tough. He's willing to take charges, willing to dive. He's willing to do all those little things. So now you have to really tailor your offense or your game planning or even your defensive style to fit what he likes to do. It's the same thing we did with Tim. Let them play a little bit, let them freelance a little bit, give them some more freedom because you would be holding them back on the defensive end and on the offensive end if you don't let them take advantage of their skill set.
And how much different is the offense when Ra and him are out there playing as fast as they can? Because I don't know if you've had a faster two guys on the court.
Did I make a good point with that? Yeah, those two have emerged over the last 5 or 6 games because I was shying away from them. I played them a little bit in the non-conference. It wasn't to where I wanted. I think the reason Jamari's level of play is so high now, and now Razier has really bought into the defensive end, now you can play those two together. And when you play those two together, we got some incredible speed out there. And that puts the opponent on their heels. And I felt like that's what we did against Illinois, and that's what we did against Nebraska.
Every time we talk about Mike, it's always day to day, but it feels like Saturday was one of his better days that he's had. How promising was that going forward, and how has he responded to? It seemed like he was really active. It seemed like the most maybe athletic he was looking, especially on the defensive end in the last couple of weeks.
So a couple of things I think you guys probably noticed that really jumped out to me during the game was his second jump. I haven't seen him block that many shots in a long time. And it wasn't the first jump, it was the second jump. And that's what was really impressive to me. He also caught a lob dunk. It was nice to see. He hasn't done that as much as he did last year. You got to remember, didn't he lead the Big Ten in dunks last year? And we led the entire Big Ten in dunks last year. We're not near that this year, but it was nice to see that spurt or that little extra effort or extra energy that he gave our team. And that's why he played so well. 10 points, 12 rebounds, 5 blocks. Man, if we could get that down the stretch here, you never know, Mark. You never know.
How do you decide which big guy starts?
Really, I want to keep Mike out of foul trouble, and I kind of gauge what he's doing in warm-ups too. So there's no science to it. It's do I think Mike's ready to play? John is so consistent. John works so hard in practice. We're a better defensive team. That's our identity, and I'd rather start with John. But when I see that Mike is engaged and he's ready to go, well, I got to take advantage of that. And if I can take advantage of that in the first 4 minutes, I'm going to. Because sometimes if he's sitting out for that first 4 minutes, he might get disengaged.
So
Does that make any sense?
When he scores early in the game, how important was that for him?
Yeah, that little layup he had, I think that was important. That Josh played with great pace there. Threw it up to Mike. Mike lays it in. I think that helped his confidence, and I think that helped his energy. And he was just a different kid on the bench. And we recognized that early, and I think that's why you go with him to start. So we'll kind of gauge it tomorrow.
When you envision this team playing at its absolute best, what do you think that looks like?
I think it looks very similar to what you saw Saturday. Your 3 veterans just giving you everything they got, really producing on both sides of the floor, defending and rebounding and production. I thought that was as efficient of a game for Josh Reeves that he's had all season. And he's had some 20-point games, but I'm talking about he had timely put-back dunk, timely layup, huge 3 in the corner, played some great defense. He had some monster rebounds. Mike with his production. So I start with those 3. If those 3 can really finish strong here, we're going to put ourselves in position for people to make some decisions or choices, and that's what you want. And then our younger guys don't need all of that pressure. They'll have more space out there. They'll have more opportunity for shots. I thought most of Miles' 7 threes were good looks for the most part, and they looked confident, and I want him to keep playing that way. So if I can reduce the 17 turnovers, if I can reduce the offensive rebounds, I think that's the Penn State basketball team that we all want to see down the stretch here.
That was a pretty tough test, I think, for Mike going up against Georgia.
Really talented kid.
And now he's got another one tomorrow night against Fernando, who's one of these two really impressive this season.
If he's not a first-round pick, then I'm a poor evaluator of talent. I mean, this kid can shoot it, and he's got great footwork, great hands. I mean, Fernando, in my book, is first team. And if they stay in the top four or fight for that Big Ten, who knows? Maybe he puts himself in position to be MVP.
And how do you think Mike's confidence going off of Saturday could help benefit how he maybe starts the game out tomorrow night?
Yeah, well, we still have to gauge that. But I think, first of all, this kid, Georgie, I don't mean to call him kid, but man, he is super talented. I was really impressed with him, watching film on him. I think he brought the best out of Mike. I know Mike wasn't happy with the way he played the first time around. I only think he played 10 minutes, Rose, maybe 11 minutes, if I recall the box score. So I think he wasn't pleased with the way he played. So I'm looking forward to a good Mike tomorrow night.
For a guy that doesn't necessarily get a lot of minutes, it seems like Myron's giving you pretty confident ones when he's out there. How has he gotten to that point, and what do you want to see out of him in general, just maybe not this year, but just over the next 6 months to get him to wherever you want to
Yeah, you know what? First of all, I'm just so impressed with MJ. He never put his head down. Nebraska, I don't put him in till late. Obviously, Purdue, he plays 18 minutes. He plays a quality 11 and a half minutes the other day at Illinois. The thing about him is he's getting up, still lifting, still coming in and watching film, still getting extra shots up. He has never wavered. He has kept the faith and kept working hard. In this day and age, it's so easy to listen to outside distractions or just, if you're not playing, hey, might as well just pick up and leave. And that's not his mentality. That's not his approach. That's not his mindset at all. He's all about, I'm going to keep working. I'm going to put the weight on, and I'm going to earn my minutes. And that's what he's done the entire year. I know his minutes went down a little bit towards the middle or end of January, but he just kept working, and there's something to be said for that, the character of this kid.
There's a lot of really good defenses in the Big Ten, but Illinois' defensive style is a little bit different with the way they pressure you as soon as you cross half court. How do you think Rozier handled that pressure? I think one of the plays stuck out to me where I think he fumbled the ball a little bit, recovered it, and then ended up getting a layup.
Wild possession, right?
Yeah.
So we really wanted to put some pressure on the paint, and he was dribbling the ball, gets deflected. He gives it to John. John gives it back to him. He almost gets doubled. He almost gets ripped out of his hand. For him to take a deep breath and kind of exhale a little bit and then get downhill and make a layup, I was so impressed with that. And I told him that. As soon as I got him in a huddle, I'm like, that was the most impressive thing I've seen in a long time. Because any other freshman that I've ever coached, that's a turnover and it's going the other way. And they might compound the problem with not getting back or maybe an N1 or something to that effect. And he did not. He kept his cool and he just went downhill and laid it in. And I think that helped his confidence for the rest of the game.
It almost seems like last year that you played Maryland, which it was really last year.
Yeah.
But how do you look at that tape? What do you do? Because it was so long ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
How do you
it was so long ago, and we were absolutely two different teams. And we were right there. I think it was a one-point game in Cowan and his heroics again. He's been doing it all year long, by the way. I don't want to discount him at all. He is playing fantastic basketball right now. He has raised his level, and he's brought his team with him. The win at Iowa is so impressive, what he did there and what he did at Ohio State the other day, impressive as well. But that's what he did against us at the end of the game in December. We're totally two different teams now. He's playing more minutes. His bench is playing more minutes. We're circulating different guys. If you recall, we were trying Josh at the point there for a while. So we've changed a lot too. So I think we're two of the hottest teams in the Big Ten. I think we're right up there with Purdue and probably Michigan State. So this is going to be a fun game. It's going to be interesting to see where we've grown.
What was the conversation that you had with John after the game? Because I feel like it fouled out pretty quickly on Saturday. Where's his confidence at? And what conversations have you had about what his job is and what his role is when he's in the game?
No, I think John's in a great place. Kid's in a really good space. One of our best leaders. He's part of the Juice Squad that I've created. And he's got one way, man. He's got one mentality. Just keep getting better, keep getting better. We showed him his fouls. You know, there's two of his 5 fouls that he can prevent. You know, he went out and hip checked 2 times. So if he prevents those 2 hip checks, I didn't agree with the one foul where I thought he played great defense in the post. I didn't agree with that. So there's 3, and the other 2 I think he just gets locked up with Georgie. So, you know, there's little things that he's got to work on. He wants to play so hard. He wants to play so well. He wants to help the team win. He also just has to take a big deep breath and continue to develop those good habits. And he's the type of kid that will do it. If you remember, this is the time last year that he really started to take off.
Do you still think there's that football player element to his mindset? Obviously, he's done a pretty good job of adjusting to looking more like a basketball player and carrying himself more like a basketball player. Do you still think, but that aggressive?
He's a basketball player now with incredible toughness. So, can I say he's a basketball player with the toughness of a football player? Is that fair?
Right.
Yeah. I'd recruit that any day of the week. And that's what you need in the Big Ten. You have to have the strong survive in this league. You got to be mentally tough. You got to be physically tough, and you got to keep getting up when you get knocked down. I mean, you've seen it from the middle of the pack down. People have gone on just massive losing streaks, and only the strong are going to come back. Only the tough-minded are going to turn it around. It's the best league in the country. I've never seen it as good as this in my 8 years.
How much conversation do you have across the league with other coaches as you watch other games? I think of Rutgers, almost beats Iowa and then gets, doinked with a ridiculous bank shot. Is there any sort of pat on the back? I've been there with these guys.
Yeah.
Seasons.
You know what? The Pikes and I are pretty good friends. Him and I haven't really texted as much, but other guys have reached out. I've reached out to other guys in different situations. Izzo reaches out all the time, which is great. John Beeline has. Paint always does. Richard. Different guys always. Chris Collins. Tim Miles. Just Chris Holtman. I mean, it's been funny, this league, and it's been funny, the coaches, on how supportive they can be and how they empathize with certain situations or where you're going through, and then breakthroughs. There's a camaraderie in this league. Don't get me wrong. We're competitive when that ball goes up. But I know when we don't have to play each other anymore, there's probably more communication.
Do you see something like that and go, thank God it's not just us?
I don't, because I don't wish the Purdue foul, the shot clock, jump ball. I don't wish that upon. I don't wish it upon anybody. So when Pikes got that at Iowa, I just, I didn't watch the game live. I saw the highlights. It's unfortunate.
Obviously, Roman Catholic won the PCL last night. What have your conversations been like with Seth over recent weeks? Obviously, you're both in the middle of your own seasons, but that's a pretty tremendous accomplishment for him.
I can talk about this, right? He signed, right? Can I say I was there? I just did. It was awesome, by the way. It was like Michigan State, Penn State. And that's a high school game in a major city, and it was overflowing. I mean, I had chills being there, being a part of that. It was just incredible. And he played fantastic. I think he was 3 for 4 from 3. A couple dunks. He dunked on somebody, N1. A couple of layups. Played great defense. He's got a grown man body. Wait till you see this kid's body. Him and Brockington. I look at Lamar, how Lamar was when he was a freshman. We all thought, man, Lamar looks great. Now Lamar's, looks incredible. But Seth's got that same body. Him and Brockington are just rock solid with Big Ten ready bodies. I'd say Miles has a Big Ten ready body. But I've communicated with throughout, and he's just excited. What a great accomplishment. And then, it's funny. We did my first goal now. On to the next one. They're ready for states, ready to go. And as you know, I coached Matt Griffin at BU. So there's some BU Terrier love there. One of my old point guards is on his staff too. DJ Irving is on his staff at Roman. So a lot of great connections there. So I was really proud of Matt, but really happy because that stage was enormous. I mean, you had to be there. It was the place to be, and it seemed like everybody in Philadelphia was there. I haven't seen it like that since we played Michigan State there. So it was really cool to see him succeed.